this morning. We'll get started here. The ranking member of the subcommittee and full committee will be here soon enough, and I want to thank Mr. Mitchell for sitting in and getting us started. Good morning, and thank you today to the witnesses for joining the subcommittee's discussion on the status of the Boeing 737 MAX. 346 people died in the Ethiopia Airlines Flight 302 crash near Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the Lion Air Flight 610 crash en route to Jakarta, Indonesia. Congress has an obligation to the traveling public and the victims of these accidents and their families to ensure the safety of air travel. If the public does not feel safe about flying, then they won't fly. If they don't fly, airlines don't need to buy airplanes. If they don't need to buy airplanes, then airplanes don't need to be built. And if there's no need to build airplanes, we don't need jobs in aviation. Therefore, it is very clear that the foundation of the U.S. aviation system is safety. And this committee will continue to maintain safety as its guiding principle and will use the tools at its disposal to reduce the likelihood of tragedies like this from happening again. I want to start by updating the subcommittee members and the public on the committee's work to date. Chair DeFazio and I continue to engage with the FAA, the National Transportation Safety Board, Boeing, pilots, aviation stakeholders, and others about these accidents. First, on March 19th, Chair DeFazio and I requested that the Department of Transportation Inspector General, or the DOT IG, assess the FAA's approach to certifying the Boeing 737 MAX. Second, the committee's oversight and investigations team continues to work with the FAA and Boeing on the records request Chair DeFazio and I sent on the certification of the MAX. Third, the committee sent a separate bipartisan DOT IG request to evaluate aircraft cockpit automation and international pilot training standards. Fourth, following a request from Chair DeFazio and I for a third-party review of the certification of Boeing's anticipated 737 MAX software update and related training, the FAA established a Joint Authorities Tech Review, or JATR, and a Technical Advisory Board, or TAB. The JATR's independent review will ensure thorough oversight of the process and rebuild public confidence that the U.S. is the global standard in aviation safety. In addition, the TAB, composed of the U.S. Air Force, the Volpe National Transportation Systems Center, and NASA, will provide an independent review of the proposed software change and integration into the MAX flight control system. I encourage all members of the subcommittee to personally continue monitoring the situation, and staff is available for any questions you might have surrounding the investigation and can provide you with updates as they become available. What I hope to hear from witnesses today: Acting Administrator Elwell and Chairman Sumwalt. The subcommittee understands certain information about accidents cannot be publicly discussed at this time because some investigations are ongoing. However, there is still important information that this subcommittee can learn in today's hearing. For instance, Mr. Elwell, I look forward to hearing more about the FAA's decision-making regarding the certification of the 737 MAX. I want you to clarify the ODA process, as well as the agency's role in determining risk assessments assigned to key safety features on the aircraft, most notably the angle of attack, or AOA sensors, and the maneuvering characteristics augmentation system, or MCAS, and whether these features should have been designated as safety critical. A recent Wall Street Journal article reported an internal FAA review concluded the agency itself failed to perform proper oversight of the certification of the MCAS system. If that is in fact true, the ODA program is not working as Congress intended. I also want to hear more about FAA's role in the development of associated pilot training for the MAX, including opportunities for input from pilots and engagement with Boeing on the related flight manuals. Additionally, I'm interested in the JATR and the TAB's future processes and how the work of these two groups align with the recently established Safety Oversight and Certification Advisory Committee as mandated under the FAA bill we passed last year. And finally, from you, I want to hear what steps the FAA will take between now and when the 737 MAX is permitted to fly again. Administrator Elwell, the FAA has a credibility problem. The FAA needs to fix its credibility problem. This committee will work with the FAA as it rebuilds public and international confidence in its decisions, but our job is oversight, and the committee will continue to take this role seriously. Chairman Sumwalt, I look forward to learning more about the NTSB's collaboration with foreign investigation authorities and your insights on the preliminary reports for JT 610 and ET 302 accidents. Congress must find answers to what happened surrounding these two accidents and ensure the safety of the Boeing 737 MAX for the sake of the flying public. The FAA must take steps to restore public confidence in the ability to maintain the safest aerospace system in the world. Today's hearing comes at the beginning of the committee's investigative process and is in the first of what will likely be a series of hearings on the MAX. The committee will continue its thorough investigation until it fully understands all the issues surrounding the 737 MAX accidents, and the committee will not hesitate to act to ensure the safety of the U.S. aviation system. I'll continue to work with Chair DeFazio throughout this process, as well as subcommittee members, the FAA, the NTSB, Boeing, aviation stakeholders, and families of victims. I want to thank you again to the witnesses today. I look forward to hearing you address these issues I've outlined in my statement. And now I want to call on the ranking member, the acting ranking member of the subcommittee, Mr. Mitchell, for an opening statement.